We are looking at Ava's butterfly under the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. As we talked about in the over the water video, her kick is really, really good. Now, one of the things we want to talk about is this sweep in the hands. One of the things Ava needs to focus on, and she does a great job. There's that great kick, driving the hips up nice and high. She's getting the head up early. She's not breathing on this stroke. Now, one of the things she needs to do is she needs to get those hands together into one big paddle. As we see as she gets further down the pool, she's going to sweep. Her hands are staying separate as she drives through the stroke. Sweep. So she's basically starting with two paddles on that front end of the stroke and then ending with two paddles at the back end. What a good flyer wants to do is you want to get to about here on the sweep when you're getting under the chest. You want to get both those hands together and make one big paddle. Now there's a drill we sometimes do where we put the thumb and the forefinger together, especially with the lead, to create that one big paddle. But it's something we're going to focus on and that Ava needs to try and get her hands closer together with. Some athletes actually touch. A lot of times they just get as close as they can without actually touching. But one of the things it does is it gives her way more power as she turns both those hands into one big paddle right under that chest and drives straight back. With how good her timing is on fly and how great her kick is at the back of her fly, that will just give her that much more forward propulsion and power. Again, look at that great kick driving the hips up. She does a really good job of that. As we approach the wall, landing is perfect. But what we're going to see here is she is going to allow herself to get too close to the wall. The elbow's going to bend, and she's going to get her chest right up to the wall. Now right here, she's already in a position where she has no room really to get the body through. So she's going to come up high in the water. You can see her hips are all the way to the surface. And she's going to drop down. She's got to go up and then down because she's got to find the room to get the body out of the way to get the legs to the wall. Well, if there's no forward room to get the legs to the wall, if your body doesn't stay in place and your legs come under you to the wall and your chest closes that window, the only thing she can do is go up. And that's what you see with that first motion. She's got to get the upper body out of the way because she let it get where the legs want to go. Well, she's got two choices. Sometimes kids will push away from the wall. They'll close the window, open the window. Your daughter, Ava, she lifts herself up and gets the upper body out of the way. So her legs get to the wall, she gets high in the water, and then drops back. Now, in order to compensate, she's over-rotating, because you can watch. As she drops back, we can see the angle of her legs. She's aiming down at the bottom. And as she pushes off, before she's even left the wall, she's already practically straight down. Now what she wants to do is as she lands, she should still be on her back inside. Her knees and her upper body, her knees and her head should be looking more this way. And that'll save her a lot of time on each turn because she doesn't spend that time spinning on the wall to get those knees down. As we go forward, again, just over-rotating. She needs to stay on that back. As her feet land, she twists to get a little bit to her side, but not as far as she's going. Right here, she's actually going all the way to her stomach to push off. And that's just extra motion that's taking time. And it gets every single wall, that's the amount of time she's adding to her swim. She pushes off, and here's where she gets into one of her strengths. Look at that streamline and glide. She's locking it in. There's no extra motion. A lot of the kids her age will not have such a good grasp of how to use that glide. She's done a great job learning in this group. Nice glide, nice glide. Now you can see in relation to the green, her hands are probably just crossing the green, hands and wrist and arms, and she's just now taking that first kick. Boom. Very nice. Second kick. So by the time she's exiting the flags, she's only taken 2 kicks. That is awesome. Now that's going to break down as her races get longer and she gets fatigued. So she needs to make sure when she's going extra fast, like in a short distance sprint, or she's racing really hard, or she's getting really tired, that she keeps this glide, keeps holding it together, and keeps using that free speed under the flags. Because when she's rested and when she's concentrating, she does it perfectly. Now, you'll notice the difference between her hips and her kick here than on her swim. So here's her kick underwater. Now watch her drive. Boom. I want you to pay attention to this angle because this is important. You got her hips going up and body going down. Okay, that's the classic high hip position from a very strong and good leg drive. Now if we go back a little bit to the wall, let's get back underwater. Okay, we're getting back to the underwater kicks. Watch her hips in relation to her body as she drives the legs down. Where's that hip pop? She's going to drive. Boom. Boom. Nothing. She's not getting power out of her kick. And the reason is she's keeping her core and her waist too tight. She wants to be tight from her ribs all the way up to her fingertips. She wants that part of her streamline to be tight. But she's got to relax the waist a little bit because her hips have to have the same flexibility they have when she's on the surface. That's what allows her to drive that kick. And the other thing she can focus on is, again, driving that kick down and away. Driving that kick down and away so that she pushes the hips upward. Right now, if you watch her kick, she's only driving back behind her. So here's where she's driving that kick, and we'll zoom back a few frames so you can see. So you can see she's not kicking down underneath her, she's kicking back behind her. Now here she goes into that first stroke and boom. All that lift because she's kicking her legs down underneath her and it's lifting those hips up. So big improvement can be had underwater. Not that she's doing anything technically wrong. She's got a strong kick and a good glide and a great streamline. But if she can just relax the waist a little bit so that her hips have that same range of motion, the same pop that they have right here. Boom. Look at all that power. She gets the maximum amount of power she can generate from this kick right here. Boom. And that's where all her speed is. Watch her surge every time she takes that kick. She needs to resist the urge to keep everything tight on that streamline so she can generate that same amount of energy underwater. Now, by and large, Ava's stroke is really, really good. She does a lot of the stuff that we talk about as well as anyone in the group. She sweeps well over the water. She keeps the arms straight. Her timing is good on her breath. She gets the head down, the eyes down. She breathes early in a stroke. Where she can improve is those minor details. On the front half of the stroke, she needs to keep the pinky up longer into the front half of the recovery, the top half of the recovery, so that she can keep the right muscles bearing the weight of the arm. If she drops that palm early like she does, she's going to fatigue. Underwater, she needs to go from 2 paddles to 1 paddle. Get the hands together underneath her chest as she gets her head up out of the water, and push underneath her with both hands as one big paddle. She finishes out the back great, but if she can just get the hands together on that back end of the butterfly, she's going to generate a ton more power at the arms, and that'll complement that great dolphin kick she has driving the back of her stroke. As for her turn, don't rotate so far, and don't let your upper body come to the wall. She has to keep the space between her and the wall. So keep the window open, keep the arms straight, don't let the arms collapse and the elbows bend, don't let your upper body get any closer to the wall. Once you make contact, keep that distance between your upper body, your chest and shoulders, and the wall. Don't let your body get closer. And as she brings the legs under, just bring them right into that hole. When she actually goes to plant the legs on the wall, make sure that you're not twisting so that your knees are towards the bottom. Remember, push off more towards your back and side than towards your side and stomach. And then on that dolphin kick out, relax the hips. Drive the feet deeper. Don't just stop them in line with the body. Drive the kick deeper so that your hips pop up just like when you're swimming.